All right, been a little bit of progress since last time we took a peek over here. Get a little bit closer look. So yeah, look at that. I have the lumber to put across those on those runners, and once that's done, the metal I have over here will be ready to put up. So that'll be a good get some help at Saturday morning thing. I ran into a couple little things with my building style. So one thing I learned is don't let your 2x6s lay out in the sun and rain, because they will warp. Back here, so really can't see it. It's actually it's sloped that way. I don't know why the cameras can't really catch it. I guess I'm a little close, but you can see the ground slopes down, and I was trying to keep my boards all even, which means I got to do my rafters up like that, right? So that's what we can see up here. That'll give you a little bit of backstory of why I did this. I come in there and I added my actual joist separate, and you can see when they're running, they run at a different angle than that one piece right there, it's square. And you'll, when I get done, whenever I do it all the sides, you'll see why I do that, because I'm going to put something up on the sides up in here. The other thing I did, I used the hurricane brackets up there, because that allows me my adjustability. I don't know if you can see, but it's not even with that board going across right there. I use that so that I can get those two together and then run it up. This is probably not the way you're supposed to do it, but I guess it would have been better if this board was in the middle and both of those sit on top of it or something, you know, like that. Yeah, I'm not a carpenter or an architect. So, but anyways, yeah, that's where I'm at right now. That's some of the things that come into right there. Just have a couple little things like that, but I'm going to come through and run a brace after I do the runners. I'll run a brace down through the middle, and same thing over here, run a brace down through the middle right there. I want overlap over there, but I can't sacrifice it. You know, it's got to have a place to sit. So that's what I'm going to be figuring out right there. Square, and then how far I want it to set that way. I mean, I love how it sets up even with that, but I'm going to have a gap over here if I do that. But that's what I'm doing this morning. I'll get a couple pieces up and we'll see how it looks. Oh, let's take a peek. I can't get it exactly even with this because the edge has to run pretty much even with that board, especially with this span. If not, it's going to run off the edge of the board. I don't want to have anything to tack to. So let's take a peek on my ladder that's tilted backwards, but that's just what ladders do. So let's go. Still got a lip all the way down, a little bit more on that edge, but I think I can live with that. Get up here and try not to fall. Oh, truck keys are in my pocket. So I think we're more or less lined up. I'll have to add some more pieces. It don't look right on this camera because this is the wide angle lens. And yeah, greasy marks all over because I'm using my mechanics gloves because this stuff is sharp. All right, but I think that, ooh, ladder almost threw me there. Okay, figured out what I did wrong. This board right here, it is not set square with my end, right? I offset it that way because I wanted my metal to sit out a little bit further. However, with me moving that 1.5 inches right there, right? Guess what happens to the rest of these? See how I come up to the end here? When I get to here, that's also moved 1.5 inches, and it should have been pretty much in the middle. Now it's going to hang off the edge to be at the very edge of that, and I wanted it to hang off even further. So what I need to do is, what I was trying to do is make it a little bit wider, but I forgot that that needs to sit on something. I don't want this dangling off into free space over here. I want it on a board. That's wanting the board. So what I need to do is come back and take this board and put it where it's supposed to be. Instead of hanging off that little bit, I'm actually going to bring it in a good amount. That way I know on my end, which we can't see here, I know that my metal is going to hang off the end of it, right? So that's what I'm going to do. Fix that board. All right, I'm going to base it off this board right here, just because where my joints lap over together, they have to be over a board. So let's check out what I did here. Learning process. I know you carpenter types are just screaming right now, don't do it that way or do it like that. Well, I'm not a carpenter. So I measure about 3/4 of an inch to the edge of this, because I know my screw is going to come in just a little bit, and that'll be in the middle of the board when I put the overlap metal over the top of this. And I brought it right up to the edge right here. We got a sunrise. Yeah, I gotta get to work. I went to work late today. That's all right. Right in the middle of getting stuff done. So I've clamped it down. That's where I want it. I'm gonna base it off this one. The end can do whatever the end does. I wish it would have stuck out a little bit further, but if I would have planned a little better, I could have done that. But this is my first carport. Anyways, that's going to be critical. This is my line. This is where I want everything square. This piece, I'm taking time on it, because once this piece is down, that's how everything else is going to run. All right, we're looking good. Looking good. And I figured out what I did wrong. It was not this board right here. That could have come out to the edge perfectly fine. If I wanted to shift all this metal that way, essentially what I was wanting to do, the first seam right here, that board should have been 18 inches instead of 24 inches, and it would have shifted everything down into its correct position. Here's why I say that. See my overhang right there? If I wanted to shift it 6 inches, if I would have shifted that first joint 6 inches, that would have come down and lined up with that. These are 2 foot apart, so if I did my 8-footer, 2, 4, 6, 8, would have laid right on the top of that. So, and I'm not saying that whole thing move over, because you need to overlap, but I could have moved it that several inches I wanted, basically half that distance, and it would have come out good. Let me show you up top. Oh, hold on. Ladder, are you going to move? Are you going to throw me? Okay, we'll give this a whirl. Oh, put 1 foot where the other foot's supposed to go. Okay. Looking pretty good. Before we put this on, I looked at it. We're looking really good all the way down. Looks like we got some pretty good overlap right there. Looking good. I tacked it in place there and there, there and there to hold these, this distance and this distance. All right, got my 10 footers up. They're not locked in. Just threw those up, and what I did was I just backed the truck up right about there. I'm going to turn around because we got our morning sun here. But you see that, and I just stood there, and I was able to just toss them up, and then like where I have the ladder, just walk it all the way down.